So basically, we just went in there, had a computer, had a microphone, sat us down, did the interview, and then we have it saved.
But similarly, we'll be able to put all of these in this master archive file.
Yeah.
Of all the visuals and all the sound recordings.
Yeah, we actually hope that once it's all edited into it's going to be like a radio program, so similar to Zach's. But we really hope that it can be on one of the websites that's for the school, or maybe a student-based website, so that people can actually access it and look at it. So we want the project to be alive.
Yeah, we don't want it to just sit in somebody's box in an office. We want it to be accessible to the public at the college. So.
And I guess when I gave Turkle credit, I should have also mentioned the NPR StoryCorps was another kind of model for some aspects of this. And so we were trying to create this archive that could be used for as long as it's of interest to students and in what we might do. And when you talked about the grad students, we have a couple names for them, Castle Fellows and Music Mentors and stuff. And they're grad students who are helping out in different things in the college. But some of the music grad students have actually run around taking sounds of construction noises and sounds. So that's part of what, because one possibility is a video that parents might want to purchase, or have as a collection as well as students. So some of these things were done intentionally thinking about products. And then some were done to just let the students do what they want to do with them and see what they might make of them, as you were describing. Let me one other thing before I let you sit down. In the handouts, there was Professor Monberg's and Professor Sheridan's kind of instructions to you about how to do stuff. Is what we've described at all, for people who are taking those away, is that sort of relate to what's there? That you kind of followed what was there or not?
Yeah, we did. And a big part of the project that we haven't talked about yet is we have to make a proposal, as if we were doing this as a project, and then we had to get proposed, we had to get permission to do it from Dean Asquith or something. And so we're kind of doing it at the same time, where in reality we really did the proposal first and then do the project. But it's good so that we can figure out how we would go about doing a proposal if we were doing this professionally. So we've had to work on that and doing all the different parts of that.
And since it is a writing class, it's the way that we're encompassing writing in it is writing these proposals and doing a lot of formal steps that I think you would go through to do an actual interview and to compile something. And yeah, we did a lot of reading on how to record oral history and how to conduct an interview correctly. And we had to go through basic training of doing a consent form, and so we've done it very officially. And I think it's really been a great experience, because now we've taken something away, and now we know a proper way to conduct an interview and how you would preserve oral history.
So I personally had never heard of oral history until about a month ago.
Thank you very much. Whether or not that meets the standards of all the oral historians in the room was something that you can let us know as we proceed. The students were given some pages out of Richie's book and some other material. There was some discussion among the faculty and some training of the grad students in the summer. But it's kind of an ongoing process. And as I mentioned, there's going to be some other classes that are going to do some other things. And we don't know how long the project will interest the students and sort of its long-term life, that we're sort of discussing it now. The parents of the college had ideas about what the curriculum and what things would be. Every other week the faculty is meeting and sort of revising and reviving in 3-hour faculty meetings, taking what students are telling us, that sort of thing. So the total future of the project is something going forward, we'll see. But it seemed to fit into the theme here, and so when Geneva heard that we were doing this, she came out for one of the events we've actually recorded here, where we invited some of the people from the Chrisman Company, who were kind of the general contractors for this project, to come speak to the students. I think there were 5 that came and spoke to all 125 first-year students in the college and talked about it. And that also kind of got us all a little bit more involved, and we used the boards for that event. And now there's a December 4th event, and then we'll see what comes a little bit later. So thank you very much for letting us have a piece of this program.
I would just like to be clear. So these students both live there as well as are in college?
The idea of residential colleges is that students in the same dormitory have some of their classes together and that they do some other community activities together. So one set of some of those pictures is a trip to Stratford that about 45 students went who wanted to do that.
I think a huge part of our college too is, yeah, it's like an art school and we have a lot of people who are really into doing art and stuff, but one way that we really do connect to each other, and what's really actually unique about us as a residential college, is that we get together and do things right out in the community. We're really involved in doing volunteer projects and getting involved in the refugee center and lots of different opportunities. So we're not only living together and learning together, but we're literally getting out and doing projects and becoming friends at even a higher levels.
Yeah. Most of the other residential colleges, U of M's, Wayne State's, the other MSU ones, and others around the country, there's a big New York Times article about the revival of residential colleges, and a number of institutions are going back this way. Usually your first year is almost entirely within the college, and then your second year is a little less, and many students leave by their third or fourth year, but sometimes they don't. We'll see how it goes. But as somebody said, I don't remember which of you, the dining room is really a state-of-the-art dining room, and so in some ways it's also an experiment for MSU in thinking about what will keep students, today's students, 21st century students, interested in living in a dormitory. And so the housing is better and the food is much better, and there are other aspects about it. So it's a fascinating sort of thing, especially when it's a place of 45,000 students. It's very large, and your classes are mostly been about 20 students in that sort of range, which isn't at all typical of most MSU early curriculum, which is hundreds of people in the basic classes. There was a hand way back there.
Yeah, I think this is a really cool project that you guys are doing, and in terms of like the university wanting to find out what the students want and how to keep them on campus and things like that. I think the two girls mentioned that they're interviewing someone who's a potential student, then they'll follow you around for the day. I think that's a really good idea, maybe just to interview, 10-minute interviews of all new students. I mean, the university would just get a wealth of information, and it might be like an ongoing oral history project that could be funded, or, there'd be a lot of possibilities there.
I mean, it's really going to depend on these students and then the next ones and what they want to make of this. But this archive has started to be created of visual sounds and oral histories, and it makes it kind of a fun thing. And it's kind of interesting because this year was the 40th anniversary of this other wave that happened, and so James Madison at MSU and Lyman Briggs both have 40th celebrations, and the RC at U of M had its 40th celebration, so it's kind of interesting. And to have some of the pictures then and now is kind of fascinating. But, we'll see sort of, there was a hand.
Oh, it was here. I've just, since I've been at MSU, it seems like forever, since I was a student. What are the dorm rooms like now? Are they singles? Are they doubles? Are they suites? Are they still community johns?
In Snyder Phillips, we have community bathrooms, but in some of the other dorms, they have suites. But we have community bathrooms, and the bathrooms just got renovated. They're really nice. I'm in a double room. Elise is in a single. And they have new loftable furniture, which is really nice. It's really easy to move and configure your bedroom in like 72 different ways so that you like it. And they're pretty nice, actually. I really like them.
Still a dorm room, but...
Well, I know, but I'm just curious, because
Yeah.
I will probably have a freshman there next year.
Yeah,
I mean-
so,
I really like them. They're really nice.
I mean, part of the interesting thing is Snyder Phillips is a 1948 dorm, and what is very nice is they kept...
What's wrong with Holden?
The closets would be bigger.
I just like the older
closets are
dorms, like he was saying, how these are
Yeah.
older ones, and like all of them, like Yakeley and Lane and all like the old type dorms. I really like that.
I like having my own bathroom. That's what I like.
Or it's good to see Morrill Hall, which used to be a woman's dorm.
Right.
They have huge closets.
Yeah.
My office is a huge closet.
Yes, it is.
Very huge.
Whether or not, anyway, so they kept the dormitory sections and the woodwork and really did some nice restoration and renovation work, keeping those intact, but then gutted the in-between section, which is the old cafeteria, and put an all-new cafeteria and new classrooms, new offices, new art gallery, and that sort of area in the connector. And I think for some people who walk outside, they can't really quite tell, because it was designed to sort of all blend together.
It does well.
And it was also an idea to take this whole northeast corner of MSU and turn it into the area of arts and humanities. So in fact, the new Broad Art Museum is in that area. What will be the new music school will be in that area, theaters in that area, so forth. So it kind of was an idea to center that part of the university in that sort of northeast corner. So, but we'll see, how they do. And one of the panels was a new student and parent orientation Saturday, and I think there were 60 kids and their parents came up to see whether or not this fit for them or not, or whether or not they would be better at K or some small college or some other place sort of thing. And some of the current students served as ambassadors. I don't know if any four of you did that, but there were about a dozen students that did that sort of thing, and that was kind of fascinating to listen to. I mean, you've been there 8 weeks, 10 weeks?
10, yeah.
I mean, and so it's sort of fascinating. This is right at the beginning too, and so it's kind of you're telling people what you think it's like. You're not really sure what it's going to be like. And the faculty, we have a blueprint of what the founding parents thought the curriculum would look like. But literally, I mean, people are still sort of thinking about what things are working well and what things need to be done a little bit differently. How to interact and connect to theater and art and music and the other arts and humanities parts of the university.
Another unanswerable question, given that you've only been here 10 weeks, what effect do you see this residential experience having on your academic life and your relationship with your professors, if you can answer?
Well, it gives us opportunities that you can't have if you're just immersed in the regular university, I think. I mean, I have right now I have one general academic class, just math, which is a 200 people class. And then I have my arts and humanities courses. I have a class of 25, I have a class of 15, and I have a class of 6. I mean, I don't know any other place you can have a class of 6.
Yeah.
Which is, it's pretty cool. We go on field trips where, I mean, they're just, it's fun. I mean,
like, the relationship that we have with our professors is really cool, and it's even going to be better next semester when they're right in the building that we're living in. We can just go right down the hall and ask them a question about our paper, about anything. And just like, I mean, we got to listen to a Nobel Prize winning in literature, Orhan Pamuk, and just the people that they can get, visiting artists and visiting people, it's just really cool because we are residential college, they can get all sorts of things that we just wouldn't get if you're like an English major or something, So
I'm delighted to see this because I came there in '72 and they began to abolish University College, Justin Morrill, demoted Lyman Briggs. Madison is always on the block, I mean, they're hysterical. But I think they're going to be okay now.
Briggs is back
and
as
now
a
I
college.
think it's come back again. Live in, learn in, love in is what we used to call it in the 60s.
They can speak on their own off the record later.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I think
Looks like we're
gonna
getting our
have to
time.
wrap up because there are other sessions that we'll be getting into, but we invite you to come up and look at the pictures and the poster and to talk with the speakers. So thank you all for coming and have a good rest of the afternoon.
Are you related to Katie?